So in this video tutorial, I'm going to walk you through how to connect your attendance portal where you keep track of if they were absent or tardy attached to your payroll portal. So for example, if you were keeping attendance, you wouldn't want to have to go into your payroll portal and manually put all that in there. I'm just going to show you how to connect those two together. So I've created a fake concert. I'll show you the roster here. So my violin section, I have Batman, Spider-Man, and Superman playing in my section. So if you've never used the attendance portal, let's just walk over, show you how to do that. You select attendance from the drop-down. It'll take you to that concert. On the left-hand side, you'll see the dates of the rehearsals and the concert. And over here, you'll see these little icons. So they're pretty obvious. The P means present, A means absent, T means tardy, E means excused. The R means removed from offered count. That's for orchestras who use some sort of a guaranteed services. So if you don't use that, don't worry about it. And then this is a clear button where you can clear everything. So for example, let's say I want to look at my violins. And let's say that my Batman, Spider-Man, and Superman were present at the first rehearsal. We go to the second rehearsal. So, oh, I forgot that. You saw how I cleared that out. That was from a previous example I'd given. And now let's say that Batman was absent, and then Spider-Man, Superman were there. Now let's say that he was tardy, and they were there. And so you can see how this goes. And let's say tardy, present. Okay, so now if I go back and look, it saves it when you click on it, so there's no reason to click a save button. And as you see how I'm selecting my dates, it's keeping track of what I clicked. So that's how the attendance portal works. So let me go ahead and clear this out. And now that I have that all cleared out, we're going to attach this to the payroll. So let's go over to our payroll. And the first thing we need to do is create some payroll types specific to absent and tardy. You can do that either by clicking on this in the payroll window, or if you go down to the drop-down menu, you can get to it this way too. It'll take you to the same place. So I'm going to create some payroll types. First thing I'm going to do is create an absent. Now, when you look at the drop-down menu, you see I have absent tardy here. So I'm going to create an absent. I'm just going to call this base as a one-time fee. So we're going to say we deduct $100 from their paycheck. Okay. All right. So and I'm going to click save. And you can see I've got my base rate right here, and I can edit that. So now I'm going to create my tardies. So I click that, and I go to tardy. And I'm gonna create 3 of these. So let's say they're in 15-minute increments. So let's say they're 15 minutes late. That's going to be a deduction of $5. Now let's create another one, and we'll call this 30 minutes. Let's say they're 30 minutes late, and we'll say that's we deduct $10 from their pay. Now let's say we're one more, and we'll say 45 minutes, and this would be a deduction of $15. All right, so I have my categories or my type set up. If I filter this out to tardy, there's my 3 tardies. If I filter out to absent, there's my 1 absent. So now I've got my type set up. So let's go back to that concert. And this time we're going to take attendance, but now that it's connected to payroll, we'll see how that works. So we're back at our fake concert. And let's say, for example, first of all, let's go to our violins. And we're going to say for the first rehearsal, they were all present. Let's say the second rehearsal. Let's say Batman was absent and Spider-Man and Superman were there. Next rehearsal. Now it says tardy. Now notice something. When I click tardy, a drop-down menu appeared. Reason for that. When I set up my payrolls, when I set up absent, I only set up 1 absent. So there's no reason for me to select anything. It's just going to automatically go to that 1 absent category I created. But for tardy, I created 3 of them. So the system needs to know, was he 15 minutes late, 30 minutes late, 45 minutes late. So you'll need to select which one it is. I'm going to click the 15 minutes, and we'll say this time Spider-Man was absent and Superman was there. So we're going to go to the next one, and we're going to say that Batman is just getting worse. Now he's 30 minutes late, and we'll say this time Superman was absent, Spider-Man was there. Go to the next rehearsal. Now we're going to say Batman is just getting worse. He's on the verge of getting fired. This time he's 45 minutes tardy, and we'll say they were there. And on the next one, he got in trouble, so this time he was only 15 minutes tardy, and everybody else showed up. And then for the concerts, he finally got his act together, and they were all there. All right, so if I review what I set up, my first one, they were all there. Next one, you can see Batman was absent. Next one, he was 15 minutes tardy, and I had an absent on Spider-Man. So keeping track of Batman, so we have one present, we have one absent, and we have one 15-minute tardy. Next. This one now, Batman is 30 minutes tardy, present, absent for Superman. Next one, 45 minutes tardy, and this one, 15 minutes tardy. So for Batman, we had one absent, two 15-minute tardies, one 30-minute tardy, and one 45-minute tardy. So you can see how that would be kind of hard to track that in payroll if you had to do it manually. So let's see what payroll starts to look like now. So go to payroll, go to violins, and you can see right there, see it found everything. So I have my one absence right there at my base rate. I have my 15-minute tardy. Remember, we had two of those, so it remembered. I have two of them. And then I have 30-minute tardy and a 45-minute tardy. You can see here my Spider-Man had the one absent and Superman had the one absent. So all that's getting transferred directly over into my payroll. So now this information is coming from the attendance, right? But let's say for some reason, I needed to change this information. So let's say I needed to change maybe the 130-minute. I don't like Batman, and I want to actually make his life worse. So I'm gonna make that two tardies, even though in the attendance record it wasn't. So when I save that, it'll retain that information. But if I reset everything, so now it's in the database saved. But if I reset it, you'll notice that it's going back to 1. Now, one thing to keep in mind, because this will confuse people, now, when you reset, you think, oh, I'm resetting everything. So you'll notice on all the categories here, they zero all back out because I'm resetting it. But for my attendance, it's not. And the reason for that is this information is getting pulled from my attendance tracker. Okay. So if for some reason you need to delete this, you can't actually delete it from here. You'll have to go delete it from your attendance in order to get rid of that. Okay. So this kind of shows you how the attendance to payroll connection works. And again, thank you for using Ensemble Manager.